everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Points of Articulation. My name's Dave, and if you're new to the channel, welcome! Today I'm looking at the Hot Wheels Star Wars Heavy Assault Walker, which made its first on-screen appearance in Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Now, last year, I reviewed the original release of this with the movie-accurate paint scheme. If you want to see that review, click the link in the description below, because in this video, even though I'm going to go over all the main sections and fill in the blanks that I didn't know back then, I'm going to breeze over the mold per se, and look more at the gold paint scheme, which is the major selling point of this particular version, because I have a lot to say. So for those that don't know, the Heavy Assault Walker actually has a name similar to the AT-AT, or AT-AT, if you will, and it is the AT-M6. All-Terrain Mega Caliber 6. And I don't like saying Mega Caliber 6, so I might get frustrated towards the end of the review, but whatever. It's also known as the Gorilla Walker because of its large front legs and how it walks. And speaking of those legs, now I finally know the reason why they're big and bulky. Not only are they reinforced to withstand turbolaser fire, but also they're used to hold all the weight of the walker itself. And that's pretty awesome. It actually has a third reason why they're so big. When it fires its turbolaser, it uses those front legs to stabilize and stay grounded. And that is awesome. I love that. Now, the last little information I have that's new is I didn't know what these were on the back. These little canisters. And one of my viewers back in the day, I believe it was Blaine, he said, oh, it was ammo. And he's right. They are actually turbolaser fuel cells, which I guess you could say is a weak point, that they're exposed in the back. But I gotta admit, I do like it, even though I do see the design flaw in it. So for the size of this model, it's about 3 inches tall, which is pretty nice. It's the biggest of all the walkers we've gotten so far in the collection. And we do have a lot to cover. We're going to briefly look at the mold, check out that paint, is it really that good? Put on a stand, compare it to some other vessels, and then we'll be done. So let's get moving! Alright, let's kick this review off. Looking at the mold, like always, I will go over the main sections of the vessel, and I'll get nice and close to see some of the finer details. Now, I will admit, I'm not going to spend too much time on a detail. I'm actually going to breeze through it because I already reviewed this vessel. So if you would like to see a video where I go through every nook and cranny, check that link in the description below, because this video is more about the selling point of this particular model, which is the paint scheme. So having said that, let's go over the main sections. We have our legs, the back legs, very similar to an AT-AT Walker, or AT-AT. Nice pads for the feet. The front legs serve multiple purposes. As we can see, they're very thick compared to the back legs. Looking at the bottom of the walker, we have our copyright crap, 3 rivets holding it together, and some detail here and there. We have our neck and head / cockpit / command section. We have our little window right there. 2 laser cannons in the front, lasers on the side, and very detailed head. I think that came out great. Again, we'll take a quick look at that close up. Very cool. Then we have our main body. Nicely detailed, nice windows and line work, paneling, beautiful. Same on this side as well. Excellent. Then we have our aft section, nicely done. Moving on up, we have our turbolaser fuel cells. Very cool. I think that came out great. Little doodads in there. Beautiful little armor section leading to the main turbolaser, the Mega Caliber 6. I don't know why. I just don't like saying it. I don't know. But has some detail on that barrel. Very cool. And that's basically everything I have to say about the mold and different pieces. So now let's get a close-up and look at all these different things real quick. Alright, getting as close as I can to the command section. We'll start down here. We have our target and sensors, some nice little doodads. Main laser cannons, our window. Coming to the side of the vehicle, some nice paneling. Side laser cannon. The top of the head, I love these details here. Nice angles and line work. Couple raised sections, beautiful. Again on this side with the laser cannon, nice. Coming up to the turbo laser, I'm not calling it the Mega Caliber anymore. Nicely done. They got some great details in there. Little paint chip right there. Some details on the interior as well, and we can see the neck. Nice job there. Coming up on the top of the body, some great line work, little recesses. Shoddy paint, we'll get to that. Beautiful details back here with the fuel cells. Amazing stuff. I think that came out great. And then coming to the back of the ship, some great details. Pretty cool. Oh, I love all those nooks and crannies and little pipes, it looks like. Fantastic stuff. Now for the side armor, we have our windows and paneling, some lines. Amazing stuff. I think that came out great. Beautiful. And even on the underside, we can see some detail down there. Awesome, and that's the same for the opposite side. Awesome stuff. I think this came out great. Especially right here in the front. I love how these little lips come out to protect the neck. Alright, moving down to the underside, we have Phillips head screws. Well, that's something new. Usually they're rivets. But okay, 2 Phillips head screws, some molding, copyright crap. A beautiful section next to the neck. I love this design on anything. Anything with close little rings or lines that look like stairs. I don't know why, I just dig that. There's our rivet in the head. Okay. Moving to the legs. Some nice details on here. Especially when we get down to the pad section, we can see a piston there. Pretty decent. Looking at the front. Some nice details. And it's basically the same on each side, just a little different pose. But the interior, we do have some hollow spaces. But it's detailed at the top a little bit. Yeah, what are you going to do? But for the back legs, nicely done. I think those came out great. Alright, when it comes to the paint of the ATM-6, I'm very upset with it. It's not good at all. And trust me, at first, it looks great. It's nice and shiny. It's not as good as the original 2, the Falcon and Slave 1 I reviewed. But at first, it does look better than the Ski Speeder. Then I started looking at it. And that's when you start to see the problems. Now, first of all, I'll go over the colors on here, and then I'm going to nitpick it. So, brace yourself. So, first of all, we have a nice metallic gold color for the die-cast pieces. Then a nice golden spray for the plastic pieces, such as the turrets on the head and the legs. Besides that, we do have black for the little window right there, so that's a nice touch. And then we have this orangey wash on here to make it look more gold. Yep, same problem as the Ski Speeder. Alright, now for me to nitpick this thing. First of all, I have to say, the golden on the armor on the body is very nice. I think that came out great on both sides. And in the front here. Now, when you turn it up, this is the strike number 1, if you want to put it that way. All the crevices are silver. The paint never even got in there for the gold. So that sucks. Number 2, orange. That wash they put onto the gold to make it look even more gold. It's just pooling on the back. You can see it here. And you can see it on the head, which it's more pronounced. Oh, that just looks horrible. Now, if that's not everything, the one thing on here which ruins this whole model for me, even though that orange is kind of killing it, is the legs. Now, with all these models I review, the die-cast and the plastic can't hold the same paint for some reason. So they try and match it, which sometimes Hot Wheels does a commendable job. But not this time! First of all, the main plastic we see here is almost a translucent silver, and it has a little metallic in there. That is the core color. And what they did here was, I guess they were trying to cut corners or do something simpler and cheap. Was just spray the legs with an airbrush, I guess. And what we have here is you can see the plastic through the golden paint. And it looks horrible. It really does, especially on the interiors, the outsides. The back legs aren't that bad, but the interiors are. You can see it all in the crevices. And look at that. Silver, 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 silver. It sucks. And the worst part of it is the side guns next to the cockpit. Let me get a zoom in for that. Alright, zoomed in, we could see the side cannon here. There is silver around it because it's molded plastic. And then they painted it with a metallic gold, which as you can see, does not match the die-cast whatsoever. And then it has that orange on it. And I don't know, I just don't care for it. I think they dropped the ball on here. They really did. Especially on this side. Again, silver. Just painted poorly. The side cannons aren't as bad as the legs. Like, at least you could tell they tried. And that orange. Ugh. Just looks disgusting. I don't know. I don't like that color. They just did it so heavy on the head. And it's everywhere. But not on the rest of the body. So, I don't know. But again, here's the leg. You can see the silver right through it. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm being too hard on it. But it just aggravates me. And that's everything I have to say about the mold and paint. Basically, this is a very detailed kid's toy. It really is. Lots of lines and little details added in here and there. It's a fine piece and pretty detailed compared to its on-screen counterpart. Now, when it comes to the paint, I think what we have here is a series of poor decisions. First of all, instead of picking one color and sticking with it, like the Slave 1 or the Falcon, they tried to do a hybrid, I guess, to cut corners and save some cash, and it didn't work. And, you know, I'm not going to keep going over all the things that are the matter with it, but it adds up and kills the illusion of this being a special model. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't like the paint. So now, let's put this baby on a stand, compare it to some other vessels, and then we'll be done. And starting off our size comparison, here we have every golden ship I have thus far, September 2018. Starting on the left-hand side, we have the Millennium Falcon, Slave 1, the ATM-6, and then lastly, on the right, the Ski Speeder. And you could tell the difference in paint. Here we have this weird orangey gold. And I have to say, I prefer these two with this nice metallic mirrored look. And for another quick size comparison, here we have some other Last Jedi vehicles. Starting on the left, we have the First Order AT-ST with BB-8, the original release ATM-6, the golden version, and then on the right hand side, we have Poe Dameron's Ski Speeder. And that does it today for my review of the Hot Wheels Star Wars First Order Heavy Assault Walker, first seen in Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, and for its size, it's 3 inches tall, which is pretty good. Now, the golden scheme you see before you is an exclusive found in the 11 pack at Best Buy. Now, I have to say, despite what many think about The Last Jedi, I do enjoy the designs, and I do get what they were trying to do with the ATM-6. However, it does have its flaws. Why would you put fuel cells on your back? All you need is one torpedo to hit one of them, and boom, you're gone. Kind of dropped the ball there, but on the whole, I love this thing. I do like the design, the legs, everything about it. Pretty awesome. However, do I think this particular vessel is worth you buying? Well, that boils down to personal preference, but if you want my 2 cents, no, it's not worth it. If you're an avid collector and you're a completionist and you just want every ship, fine, go for it. Go on bestbuy.com and get it. I believe the pack now is $19.99. You get a couple ships you might already have, the Resistance Troop Transporter, which is the major selling point, and then 2 golden ships. Now, normally I wouldn't care. I would just say, oh, well, you know, the paint is blah, blah, blah. But you know what? No, I'm putting my foot down because I'm really aggravated. And yes, I know, they're kids' toys. They're for like 5-year-olds. Fine. But when you get an exclusive pack, and the major selling point, besides an exclusive ship, is, oh look, 2 golden exclusive ships you can't get anywhere else. That's going to be why some people buy it. Now, I personally bought it for $9.99 for a Resistance Troop Transporter, but you know, more gold ships the better. When I ordered it and ran to Best Buy to pick it up, the first thing I noticed was the lack in quality for the gold. And as we saw looking at the Ski Speeder in this one, it's shoddy. It's not painted well. And in my opinion, because of all these faults, they lose their luster and seem less exclusive, less important. Now, keeping that in the back of your mind, the mold itself is amazing. For a small kid's toy, this is a pretty damn good little representation of what we saw in The Last Jedi. Panel lines, molding, everything's there that should be, and I do enjoy it. Now, besides that awesome mold, crappy paint, you do get that nice translucent stand. So I recommend this walker for anybody who's a completionist that really loves to have every single Hot Wheels vehicle, or if you're a fan of the First Order and the Last Jedi. So that's everything I have to say about this golden monstrosity today. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, hit that like button. And if you'd like to see new reviews every Thursday, subscribe. Again, to all of you, thank you so much for watching and sticking with me. I do appreciate it. And until next time, bye everybody.